Glad to have you join us again. If you just joined us, this is Business Breakfast, broadcasting to you live from iBrandTV newsroom. Studios, beg your pardon, in Lagos. Charles Frakwaga, Public and Business Affairs Analyst, joins me now live virtually as we take a quick look at some of the stories, giving us his own in-depth analysis into these issues. Charles, good morning. Glad to have you join me on the program today.
Good morning, Blessed. It's always a pleasure being on the show.
All right, then. So good to have you join me on the show. Now, let's get talking now. I believe you've seen some of the stories. And we're starting off with this one now that comes up here. President Bola Tinubu, the course of the week, actually signed the Nigerian student loans bill into law, and they say that this will give Nigerian students who come from less privileged homes the opportunity to pursue their aspiration, gain good education, and also drive their dreams of becoming educated Nigerians. But despite the good news surrounding this development, there seems to be some lapses towards it, and many people are saying that the amounts that the federal government is giving and then the period that it will take for students to repay the loan is really not feasible. What is your reaction to this?
Yes, thank you very much. As you have said, it's a very laudable project, and putting it into law, we commend the government. And when this bill was signed into law, sometime in 2000 last year, 2023, everybody applauded it. When it came to implementation, people saw some of the losses, like you have said, the amount of money to start the fund, and of course the payment, the payback period, and certain criteria that students need to have before they can access the funds from that the loan. Now, yes, you will remember that they were supposed to have launched it because of it was postponed. Then now finally it was signed into law and amended, and all that. And yes, it is there now. So for me, I think there is no law that is perfect. And it is only when you start implementing it one way or the other, you might recognize certain things you didn't take into consideration. And for me, that is what has just happened. So the government repealing the old act and getting this new act, for me, is a very good development. We should just continue to encourage the government and of course the board and the management that is going to be implementing this fund. We should just continue to support them and see how we can continue to improve on what we have on ground.
Do you think that the Nigerian youth, all this law is actually stipulated for, will take advantage of it? Because there are so many loopholes to it. And do you think that they will accept it with open hands?
Yes, you will not expect everybody to accept it with open hands. Some people will still be skeptical. Some people will still think that it's not going to work. But I am saying it is a law right now. No matter the lapses, let us just go ahead, implement. And nobody says because it's a law now, from time to time, it cannot be reviewed. That is my own attitude towards it. It's the first in kind that we're having in the country. So there are going to be issues here and there. So let us go ahead, implement. But again, the government has already done some few things. They are putting some measures in terms of governance of this fund. They're putting structures in place to try to see that once you collect, it is actually for your educational needs, maybe in terms of paying tuition and your upkeep in the university. Then, when it comes to payback period, of course, they are giving some leeway again. And if eventually, because of our economic reality, you are out of school, out of new service, you are not able to pay for some time, then of course, show proof, and the government will see it from that point of view. So for me, I think it is one Nigerian you should take advantage of and begin to say, now there is no excuse for you not to have higher education.
All right, then now let's shift focus to the next story now. There seems to be a kind of trending issue in the country at the moment now, and it's driving a lot of backlash. And that is the hike in electricity tariff that was announced by the federal government some days ago. And now the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has said that this particular increase has been implemented. I'd like to get your thoughts on this now. The NERC is coming out to say that this new development is for customers within the Band A unit. If you are to react to this now, what do you have to say? Do you think that this development is coming at the right time? Then what now happens to electricity subsidy?
Okay, thank you very much. Again, it's all part of the challenges we have found ourselves. In fact, in the past, people would not even think there was subsidy on electricity. But now, that is the reality. The discos have told us this is the reality. For them to be profitable, the tariff they are charging now will not be sustainable. And yes, the government, the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission is now saying, okay, moving forward, tariff is going to be increased for those who are band A. The first issue was most Nigerians were confused. Which band do they belong to? In fact, somebody was so comical. I was saying they belong to Bella band. You know? So the issue is we just need proper communication. Proper communication. I am one of those who have criticized the Minister of Power. But looking at the issues critically, that power sector, whether it is generation, whether it is transmission, whether it is distribution, whether it is metering, it's already flawed. Because those persons who got into some of these power assets, whether the discos or the genco, especially the discos, there were not persons who this thing should be sold to. Because one, they didn't have the core competence, they didn't have the financial might, and that's why government is still involved in this electricity distribution. So there is a problem. Now it is the way forward. It is so comical now that we don't even see power, that the grid collapse on a daily basis, and you are telling Nigeria you are still subsidizing. So it's difficult for the average Nigerian to believe. But however, that is the reality on ground. We are not able to generate enough electricity. The what the vehicles will telling us they generate enough. Transmission, the issue of the distribution cannot be removed, metering and all that. The whole value chain is a problem, and we need a total overhauling of the value chain. Yes, one of the recommendations is people who are network individuals will pay more, and that will be used to compensate for those other persons who cannot afford to pay. That is part of the model. Then at the same time, we should make it so competitive. How, if I am in one disco and I am not satisfied, I should be able to switch to another disco. So the government need to communicate the challenges in this sector simply and correctly. And that is when the average Nigerian will understand what it takes from generation to the power getting to them for consumption. If not, as where we are today now, it will still be difficult for Nigerians to believe that this is the true situation. Because why? You are not getting this power. You are not seeing it. Now you are coming to say you want to increase for those who are in that day, and that day are those who consume 20 hours a day. How do we measure that? How do we assess that? So for me, the issue will need to be holistic. Yes, what they have just done now to increase so that the discos can operate in a way for some time. But again, what tells us that it is not going to be increased maybe in the next 2, 3, or 5 months. So we need to still go back to the drawing board when it comes to the issue of power generation, transmission, distribution, and metering in the country.
And also, I need to get your thoughts on this as well. Now when we talk about subsidy removal now, we saw that played out in the PMS and the downstream sector of the petroleum industry. And Nigerians are still feeling the ripple effect even up to this moment. Many Nigerians are still yet to come back to their normal life. Now, with these developments, do you think the poor, who are always been the set of people to always bear the brunt of government decision, do you think that this will have any impact on them? That's one. And secondly, would you see this move by the federal government as a misplaced priority, especially at a time when Nigerian economy is still trying to get out of the woods? And then again, Should this be a top priority for the Ministry of Power?
Okay, your questions are very, very tough and strong. Yes, impact on the poor masses. Yes, the poor masses might not see any impact.
Okay.
And yes, and the other question, remind me.
Yes, if this is a misplaced priority by the federal government.
Okay, good. For me, I would not say it's a misplaced priority 100%. The government has to do something. And at times, doing something and starting a difficult thing like this might not be easy, but they just have to do something. And that's why I spoke about communicating properly. Let Nigerians understand the problem. Because if I'm able to understand the issues involved, then I'm more likely to be sympathetic to the challenges the government is going through. Not this haphazardly way of doing things. Priority, the most important thing for now. Nigeria needs power. And how do you ensure that? Military. If you're able to meter every consumer, or at least up to 80 to 90% of consumers are metered, then you control what you consume. The issue of whether you are a band A, band B, band C, or band whatever doesn't need to arise. So I know, just like my telephone, if I don't have money to buy to recharge, I will not. The same thing should apply. So every consumer of electricity should be metered so that you know what you consume. The day the government said the grid has collapsed, I know I am not going to consume electricity, I will be there. But not when we see other issues of metering, it will be difficult for this strategy they are adopting now to succeed. So the most important thing there is metering for support. Once we get that right, then the companies, whether they are discos, they are gencos, if they don't have the financial wherewithal or the technical capability, then like the government are stretching, revoke licenses and let the real investors come in with their core competence and of course their financial mind. The capital market has even given them a leeway and said, yes, if you want to raise funds, come. We have seen some of the listed, Transcorp is also there. So we are waiting for the distribution. Come and list yourself and raise money. And of course, once your shareholders believe in you, they will give you money and we will begin to see changes in this electricity value chain. But most importantly, metering must be done first of all.
All right, there's so much to talk about in this issue around the power sector, but because of time, we just shift focus now to the next story now. There seems to be a glimmer of hope for Nigerians, especially businesses and some motorists who actually rely on diesel, as the price of diesel has actually come down to 1,350 or 1,225 naira in some cases, because Dangote refinery, according to the reports we're getting now, started dispensing, selling out rather, diesel to Nigerian local petroleum marketers. And now they are saying that very soon, by next month, the Dangote will start exporting premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol. How do you react to this? And with all that we're seeing, do you foresee the price of transportation coming down anytime soon? And then with businesses that rely on diesel to power their generator, do you see the prices of goods and commodities also reducing from the current rates that they are now?
Okay, let me start from the last question. Yeah, because the manufacturers have always complained of high cost of production, and power as one of the main elements they've always mentioned. Now, most of them power most of their engines or equipment with diesel. Now, with Dangote now supplying the Nigerian market, so there is supply of diesel or what is called the gas oil now. Okay, and we are seeing that the price is already down. Then this is the time we want to see patriotism from the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, man, to say, look, members, if cost of one of our critical inputs, power, has come down, then we want to see a reduction. So it's a matter of moral suasion that this man will not talk to their members. You are getting this power now or this diesel to power your engine at a reduced price. So of course, that would have reduced their cost of production. So being patriotic Nigeria, we want to also now begin to see a reduction in the price of their goods and services that they sell to Nigeria. We want to see that now. That is what man is supposed to be doing. Now, coming to the other aspect of whether transportation prices is going to go down. Yes, Dangote refinery, 20 billion asset refinery, yes, it must have a positive impact in our country transportation system, because they have promised us that very soon they are going to be sending PMS, selling PMS to the market. And as long as they are not getting their crude imported, the crude is given to them in Nigeria here, then of course some of all those shipping charges and all that will be reduced. So we expect the price of PMS to be down, you know, but of course the owners of Dangote, they are businessmen, they want to make their money. But we still expect prices to be down. And of course, while the price of that PMS is down, again, I also want to expect that the National Union of Road Transport Workers and Road Association of Nigeria to also now begin to talk to their members to see how prices of transportation fare should come down. And of course, we can even start with some of the government agencies. On these government-run 30 buses that are using PMS and all that. So when the government starts it, then of course, it will not be left for those private operators to also reduce their price. So this is the time government needs to show its authority when it comes to the welfare of Nigeria in terms of what they pay for transportation. So if Dangote is not supplying PMS to the market, the prices have come down, then of course the private operators have no choice than to reduce the price of what they charge for transportation fare.
All right, now let's wrap up this segment with this particular story now. Going by the recapitalization efforts by the Central Bank of Nigeria, insurance stakeholders are coming out to say that they want the same developments being carried out in the insurance sector. I know you also have an interest in the insurance sector. What's your reaction to this? Do you think that this is feasible? And if NICOM decide to toll this path, do you think that the insurance companies in Nigeria have the capacity to meet up with the recapitalization base?
Okay, thank you. This is a double-fold question. Yes, the insurance sector is also part of the financial system, and we know how important the financial system is in any economy. Now, in a situation where some of the multinational oil and gas companies will tell you the insurance companies that we have cannot take up some of the risks that is involved in the oil and gas sector. And they kind of merge together, they do a syndicated to insure certain assets in the oil and gas industry. Now, with the banking recapitalization, if the insurance sector wants to follow suit, it is absolutely very okay for NICOM to say, okay, look, let's increase your capital base and see how if those of you that cannot increase, you can merge. But the most important thing there is good corporate governance. I've always said it. It is not how big your capital is, but it's how you are able to operate with honesty, integrity. Yes, for big ticket transactions, you need to have a very strong and large capital base. Yes, based on that, you can say increase your capital base for the insurance firm or encourages mergers and acquisition. That is fine, because everything is dynamic and we want the insurance companies to also be global, not be local champions, like we have seen in the banking industry. We have Nigerian banks that are playing internationally in other parts of the world. We want to see Nigerian insurance companies also becoming global and playing in the international insurance market globally. For me, it's a very good development, and we advise NICOM to begin to look at that and let it be a smooth transition, not hurriedly done, because the banking sector has started there. Insurance has to do so. It has to be a stakeholder involvement, and let's see a gradual introduction and transitioning of in the process of increasing their share capital. All stakeholders must be carried along, and of course, good corporate governance must be the key in terms of increasing their minimum capital base for operation.
All right, then, because of time, we'll leave it at that. I'd like to say a big thank you to you, Charles Frakwuhal, Senior Public Affairs and Business Analyst and also a stockbroker. Thank you so much for your time with me on the show this morning, and have for yourself a wonderful weekend ahead of you.
Thank you very much for having me.